Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om
Om Namo
Namo
Bhagavate
Bhagavate
Vasudevaya.
Vasudevaya. Om
Om
Namo
Namo
Bhagavate
Bhagavate
Vasudevaya.
Vasudevaya.
So Hare Krishna, dear devotees, thank you very much for joining us today. I'd like to seek your good wishes and your blessings so that we can continue with the sixth chapter. We're hoping to cover sixth chapter, seventh chapter, and eighth chapter as well. Eighth chapter is really quite interesting. It's very interesting because it's the Narayan Kavach. So, and there's the reason why the Narayan Kavach is spoken is given in chapters 6 and 7. So let's dive into the nectar of Bhagavatam. So this is text number 45 of the sixth chapter.
Tamba Vivire Suragana Swashriyam Dishatam Api Vimatena Parityakta Gurunas Girasenayat. Although Vishwarup was the son of the daughter of the eternal enemies, the demons, the demigods accepted him as their priest in accordance with the order of Brahma when they were abandoned by their spiritual master Brihaspati, whom they had disrespected.
Okay. So we'll see this a little bit later on. This is towards the end of the chapter. So this is the progeny of the daughters of Daksha. So Daksha, if you recall yesterday, he begat many sons, 10,000 sons, and then how many was it?
1,000.
1,000 sons, and they all took sannyas, thanks to Narad Muni. So he decided, although Daksha had become disgusted with household life, Lord Brahma, and he had become disgusted because his sons had been persuaded to go to take sannyas, go back to the Godhead. So Lord Brahma, however, instructed him that he should try again. But this time, Daksha was very cautious. Instead, he had daughters instead of sons, so that Narad Muni would not disturb them to take the renounced order of life. So now he had 60 daughters, and his wife, if devotees remember, Asikni. 10 of those daughters were married to Yamraj, so we'll see their dynasty shortly, descendants rather. 17 daughters were married to Kashyap Muni, this great sage. 27 daughters were married to the moon god. There was no descendants of this because the moon god had been cursed by Daksha. He'd upset him and he'd cursed him to decline in his rule. Hence why the moon waxes and what's the other? Veins. And then 2 daughters each were given to Angira, Krishaswa, and Bhuta. So let's have a look at. There's a lot of names in this chapter. I don't know if anybody's read this chapter, but there's a lot of names. Anyway, so Yamaraj's 10 wives. I'm not going to go through the detail, except when we see somebody we sort of recognize. Anyway, these are the 10 wives. Yeah, these are the 10 wives. And these are the children of the 10 wives. And you can see some of them are clouds. Durga Mata is taken birth here. Nandi. Lord Shiva's carrier. Jayanta is regarded to be Upendra, but not the same Upendra as Vamandev. He's the incarnation of the Lord. Murta, who delivers the fruit of action to jivas. Sankalpa and Kama. Kama is also the son of Yamraj. Then we have the 8 Vasus, leaded by Drona, etc. So that's the 10 sons of Yamraj. And Jayanta is an expansion of Vasudev called Upendra, but different from Vamandev. Then these are the 8 descendants. These are descendants of the 8 Vasus. So, and you got the Vasu there, and you got the wife. So again, I'm not going to go through them one by one. Skanda, that's Kartikeya. That's quite interesting because I thought that he was son of Shiva. Yeah. Anyway, Shishumara, if anybody remembers that, Shishumara, very interesting.
Dolphin.
The dolphin, yeah. So this, I don't know if there's a connection here with that universal form of the Lord. Chakshusha Manu, who's pretty famous, I think in his Vishwakarma, yeah, Vishwakarma, the architect, yeah. Okay, so that's the descendants of 8 Vasus. So we're looking at all the daughters, descendants, right, of Daksha's daughters. And then the 2 children the 2 daughters who went to each of them. And then we start looking at Kashyap. Kashyap had 17 wives. So these are the first 4. Now, Sarupa, Puta's wife, 10 million Rudras, of which there are 11 principal ones. That's a big family. Second wife had the Petas and Vinayakskas, associates of the Rudras. Angira is a Muni. So the Prithis came from him, and the Ved, Pitrus. And Krashaswa, not sure who these are. And then the Kashyap Muni's 4 wives. Patangi, so the birds, locusts, Garud came from Minata. And Aruna as well, Arun, the sun god's carrier, driver. And Kadru. So they're the descendants of these guys. And then Kashyap had 10 further wives. He had more than that. So these are another 10 of his wives, and who came from them? Surabhi, the cows, eagles, apsaras, the angels came, trees, rakshashas, gandharvas, animals whose hooves are not split. So from those daughters of Daksha, different types of creation, living entities were created. Inconceivable for us to understand this, but this is what's stated in the Bhagavatam. And then Kashyap and Danu and their descendants. So this is important daughter of Daksha. And from them, there were many, 61 sons. Don't really recognize anybody.
Kapil.
Where? Oh, Kapil. Yeah, oh, Kapil. I thought that was
Different.
Devahuti.
That's a different.
Must be a different one, yeah. So, and then there's their descendants, Rahu, Ketu, and then Yayati. We'll see the Yayati later if it's the same one. And then 60,000 sons. So these are all the different descendants coming down.
2 more daughters.
Yeah. Anyway, very complex. And then Kashyap and Aditi, another daughter of Daksha, and their descendants, from whom come Vivaswan. This is quite interesting. Twastva, he was the source of Vishwarup. So their son, Twastva, was the source of Vishwarup. And Vishwarup is a very important character, as we will see in the next chapter. And then there's more descendants of Aditi, which are mentioned later in this canto. And also Kashyap had 1 more wife, as we know, Diti. Right? It was Aditi and Diti. And her descendants are also described further in this chapter, in this canto. Okay, so, Yamraj and Yamuna. Yes, Riyansh.
Prabhuji, in Sati's story, Pusha came there, whose teeth are
Yes,
broken
yes.
for laughing at Lord Shiva,
That's right.
Veerabhadra.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. Interesting. It's interesting because Pusha came after, isn't it? This is Daksha's. This is the second Daksha's daughter. Anyway, too complex to understand. So, right at the end of the chapter, although Vishwarup was the son of the daughter of the demons, so Aditi pretty much gave birth to many of the demons. The demigods accepted him as their priest. This was instructed by Brahma when they were abandoned by their guru, Brihaspati, whom they had disrespected. So that's the end of the 6th chapter. It's quite complex, lots of names. And I'm going to test everybody the names a bit later on. 7th chapter begins, let's do the verse first. Tesam kapatat lishtram patatam tamasi adaya yeshadatyur vachasteyai majanti asma palava.
Leaders who have fallen into ignorance and who misled people by directing them to the path of destruction, as described in the previous verse, are in the effect boarding a stone boat, and so too are those who blindly follow them. A stone boat would be unable to float and would sink in the water with its passengers. Similarly, those who misled people go to hell and their followers go with them. Hare Krishna.
Interesting. So we'll see this, how this comes. This is Indra actually cursing himself. So what happened? This chapter is called Indra Offends Spiritual Master Brihaspati. So when Parikshit heard that the demigods had offended Brihaspati, he was shocked. And he asked Sukadev Goswami, what happened? He wanted to know the details. So then Sukadev Goswami said, once Indra, he was seated on an opulent throne in heaven, surrounded by the Devatas. He was being praised by the Siddhis and the Gandharvas and all the Apsaras, etc., and entertained by the Apsaras. He was served with royal paraphernalia. They were doing arti to him. At that time, his spiritual master, Brihaspati, appeared in that assembly. Now, although Indra saw him, he did not rise from his seat or offer him a seat or worship him. So this was a transgression of etiquette because the senior, the guru, had come. And when the guru comes, at minimum you do is stand up and offer your obeisance, your respects to him, let alone giving him a seat, giving him something to eat and worshipping him. So Brihaspati, he became upset. Instead of cursing him, however, because Brihaspati is pretty mild personality in one sense, he left. He left immediately. So this is Brihaspati here. And this is the arena of Indra, the heavenly planets. And he left. He left that arena. Indra realized his mistake and he condemned himself in front of everyone. He said that ignorant leaders who mislead people, that's the verse we were looking at, are boarding a stone boat. And the stone boat, what happens to it? It always sinks. And those who are in that stone boat, who have been misled, they end up in hell, as well as the person who's misled them. So we have to be very careful not to follow ignorant leaders. And we have to be also very careful not to get into this mood of Indra's. He was being worshipped. He was really enjoying himself. And his senior came and he ignored him. So sometimes this is what material opulence does. It can really take away one's intelligence. So we have to be very careful. If we have any material opulence, we should understand it's not because of, it's the Lord's mercy that's come to us, and we're just simply caretakers of that wealth or possessions that we have. But if we're thinking, this is mine and I've earned this very hard by my hard labor, and I am very proud of myself, then unfortunately we'll be in the same position as Indra. We become very proud and arrogant. And when we become proud and arrogant, we're going to make mistakes. Indra made a bad mistake. So he went to Brihaspati. He went to his place. Brihaspati, understanding Indra's mind, however, became invisible, and he left home. Indra could not find him, and he had no peace of mind. So Indra knew he'd made a really bad blunder. Hearing of Indra's pitiable condition, the demons, at the urging of Sukracharya, their guru, declared war on the demigods and defeated them in battle. Thus the demigods went to Brahma for shelter. So Sukracharya is the spiritual master of the demons. And we will see a little bit later. Yes, Riyansh.
Prabhuji, if Shukracharya father is Brihaspati, why he become a bad person?
Is he?
Bad teacher.
I don't know who the father is of Brihaspati. Was it Sukracharya? I mean, of Sukracharya. Was it Brihaspati?
Yes, Prabhuji.
How do you know that?
My mother told.
Okay, we'll check. But anyway, Sukracharya is traditionally always been the demigods of the guru of the demons. And the example is in the case of Bali Maharaj. When Bali was doing the yagya, Sukracharya was there. He was the presiding priest at that time. So
Hare
I don't know the
Krishna.
history. Why?
Hare
Yes.
Krishna. Shukracharya, he was supposed to be the priest of the demigods. He was very, very clever. So then the demigod chose Brihaspati over him. Then he got very angry, and then he went to be on the side of the demons. That's why he was always like against the devatas.
And is his
I've read it
father
somewhere.
Brihaspati?
Sorry?
Is the father of Sukracharya Brihaspati? Do you know?
I don't know.
It's Bhrigu.
Yeah.
Bhrigu, right? No, I
Very
don't
good.
know.
Hello, Bhrigu.
Yeah, well done, well done.
Shukracharya father is Bhrigu.
Very good, very good. Thank you, Ras.
Yes, Sukracharya was Brihaspati was chosen over him. That's why he's
Yeah,
always
yeah.
envious toward them.
Very good, very good. Good point. Thank you for sharing that, Mahaji. So what happened? Brahma instructs the demigods. He said to Indra, how have you acted so impudently towards your spiritual master? Right? Due to madness of material opulence, you fail to respect your guru, who is self-controlled Brahman, aware of the supreme Brahman. So Brahma rubbed it in a bit. That is why you were defeated by the demons. Previously, the demons were weak because they had disrespected their spiritual master Sukracharya, but now the demons are strong because they have worshipped their guru. And then Brahma gives this really nice statement. Those who worship the Brahmanas, cows, and Krishna, always strong. So then he advises them, you must approach the pure Brahman, Vishwarup, the son of Twasta, and accept him as your guru, even though he is inclined to side with the demons. Surely he will fulfill your desires. So he said, Brihaspati is so unhappy with you, you ain't going to get any joy. You don't know if you'll find him. So instead, if you want your opulence back, take shelter of Vishwarup. So the demigods, they approach Vishwarup. The demigods who are on the level of Vishwarup's parents. So they were senior to Vishwarup, the demigods. They went to Vishwarup and they begged him to be their priest, their guru, in order to defeat the demons. So they were very honest with him. And the reason they gave was, look, you're just like our son. And because you're just like our son, it's your duty to serve the parents. And even if you have children of your own, like the demons, you still should serve us because we are like your parents. And Vishwarup was very broad-minded. He felt honored and he immediately accepted, yes, I'll help you. Although and then he made this comment, which is a really interesting comment. Although the acceptance of priesthood is decried as causing the loss of previously acquired Brahminical power. So this is interesting. It's indicating that one who takes on this responsibility has to be very careful, because one can lose the Brahminical power. So when one becomes a spiritual master or takes a position of responsibility in the spiritual field, you have to be very careful. So interesting comment, this one. Anyway, broad-minded Vishwarup, who was advanced in chanting Vedic mantras, agrees to be the priest of the devatas, although they are his superiors. And he composes a protective prayer known as the Narayan Kavach and teaches this secret mantra to Indra. So that's the end of chapter 7. So this is Vishwarup. He's got 3 heads. And this is him instructing the Narayan Kavach to give protection to the devatas. Yes, Riyansh.
Prabhuji, you told that Brihaspati was a great personality, and why did he not come in Mahajans?
Good question. I don't know why he's not in the Mahajans, but he's Brihaspati. Is that Jupiter? He's actually
Planet.
yeah, he's got a planet of his own, which he looks after, Jupiter. And that planet is considered very auspicious.
Guru's planet.
Yeah, it's the guru's planet. So he's the guru of the devatas, very powerful person. Maybe because there may not be, no, there's Yamraj, isn't he? He's a demigod. Yeah, I'm not sure why Brihaspati is not there. But many are not there, as we know. But he's very intelligent, very, very intelligent. And he's a great devotee of the Lord. Yes,
Hare
Riyan.
Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Yes.
Maybe he's higher than the Mahajans, right?
Maybe.
Because he has got a planet of his own.
May well be.
Right?
We'll be speculating, but maybe. Yes, Riyansh.
Prabhuji, I did not ask any question.
Oh, okay. Anybody else? Any questions at this point? Otherwise, we'll swiftly move on to the next chapter.
Now you are telling Mahajans have different planets.
No. No. Brihaspati has a planet.
Brihaspati is like Jupiter, like the guru. Jupiter is very auspicious.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
So, chapter 8, the Narayan Kavach. Okay. Sarvopatapyo Hare Nama Rupayana Yudhanina Buddhindriyaya Manapaya
May the Supreme Personality of Godhead, holy names, his transcendental forms, his carriers, and all the weapons decorating him as personal associates protect our intelligence, senses, mind, and life air from all dangers.
Very good. So what I was going to do today, we will just do a quick overview of this chapter today. And then on Monday, I was thinking that we could actually try to perform this Narayan Kavach. Has anybody recited this Narayan Kavach before?
I've done it about 2-3 years ago, but not with too much attention.
And you did it through
I just read it through.
the
Okay.
chapter, right?
So
Okay.
you didn't
Yeah, my son.
it, physically, like touching all the different
No,
parts?
no.
Okay.
Yeah,
No,
we'll
no.
We'll try
No.
that on Monday.
Yeah, we'll try to do it.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Kamashi.
Mm.
So, Parikshit Maharaj inquired from Sukadev Goswami about the Narayan Kavach. What is it? So then Sukadev Goswami explains. First, one must perform Achaman, chant various mantras, glorifying the Supreme Lord, chant some mantras to purify oneself, like this Om Apavitra, Pavitra Va. That mantra comes into this
Chapter.
this Kavach, before we chant the Kavach. And one must, after finishing chanting these mantras, which we will do on Monday, one should think oneself qualitatively one with the Supreme Lord, which is our constitutional position. We are not God, but we are part and parcel of God. Just like the fire, the sparks that come out of the fire are the same as the fire, but at the same time, they're not the fire. So the spark is a little aspect of the fire. So the qualities the spark has are also, the qualities that the fire has are also in the spark. So we also are qualitatively, in many ways, one with the Supreme Lord, because we are spirit souls, and He is a supreme spirit soul. So we should think ourselves qualitatively one with the Supreme Lord. And then the Narayan Kavach starts from the 12th verse onwards. One must pray for protection to the Lord in His various forms. And the first verse, number 12, begins with remembering, praying for protection from the 8-handed form of Lord Narayan, whose lotus feet are placed on the back of Garud. And then, one by one, we pray for protection from Matsya, the fish avatar, protect us in the water or from fierce animals that are associated with Varun. Vaman, protect us on the land. Vishwarup, Trivikram, that is, who's that? Who's Trivikram? Another
He is
name?
an architect of the demigods.
No, that's
Not this one?
Vishwakarma.
Who's Trivikram?
Vikram.
3. 3 is 3. He took
The
3
three.
steps.
Vamandev.
Okay, Vamandev.
Vamandev.
Yes.
Yeah. So we're asking him to protect us in the sky. Nrsingadev, different places like the forest and battlefield. Varaha, on the streets. Parshuram, tops of mountains. No, many people are going to go tops of mountains, but. And who's that?
Ramachandra.
Ramachandra, foreign countries, Sri Lanka, for example. Narayan, unnecessarily following false religious systems and falling from duties of madness, out of madness. Nara, unnecessary pride. Dattatreya, falling from bhakti yoga. Kapil, the material bondage of fruitive activities. Sanat, from lusty desires. Hayagriv, neglecting to offer obeisances to the Lord. Narad, committing offenses in worshipping the deity. So he's the expert on deity worship. So we're praying to him, please don't let me make offenses. Kurma, falling to the unlimited hellish planet. So he holds them up. He holds everything up.
At the bottom.
At the bottom, yeah.
Of the universe.
Dhanvantari, undesirable eatables and physical illness. Rishabdev, fear produced by the dualities. Yagya, deformation. Balaram, injuries caused by others. Shesh, envious serpents. Vyasdev, ignorance resulting from absence of Vedic knowledge. Buddha, activities opposed to the Vedic principles, and laziness that causes one to madly forget them. Kalki, the dirt of age of Kali. So these are different devatas that we pray protection in the different places or from different items.
incarnations.
Yeah. Oh, so yeah, different incarnations. Now, the next 3 verses goes into protection during the different parts of the day. According to the Vedic astronomical calculations, day and night are each divided into 30 gatikas, 24-minute intervals instead of 12 hours. So normally in the West, we're used to the 12 hours, but the Vedic tradition is different. Generally, each day and each night is divided into 6 parts consisting of the 5 gatikas. In each of the 6 portions of the day and night, the Lord may be addressed for protection according to different names. So here we go. The first part of the night, or day rather, Keshav, is we've asked for his protection with his gada. Second part is Govinda, playing the flute. Third part, Narayan, with all the potencies. Fourth part, which is noontime, Vishnu, with his disc. Fifth part, afternoon, Madhusudan, with his bow. Evening, Madhav, appearing as Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva, or eternity, knowledge, and bliss. And Rishikesh, beginning of the night. And then at the end of the night, dead of night, Padmanabh, Srivatsadham, who is the Lord who bears this Srivatsa, which is like a hair, isn't it? From midnight until the sky becomes pinkish. Janardhan at the end of night, when the night finishes. Damodar, early morning. Vishveshwara, junction of day and night. So these are the protectors, and these are the different parts of them. So we want, Narayan Kavach offers protection all day and all night, according to different incarnations. Then we ask for protection by the Lord's weapons. So we have the disc, Sudarshan Chakra, in all directions, burns the enemies to ashes. The club, which is very dear to the Lord and very powerful, like thunderbolts, pound to pieces the evil beings, pulverize them. The conch, filled with the air of Krishna, creates fearful sound vibrations, causes trembling in the hearts of enemies. It drives away these, crazy living entities. Swords, best of sharp-edged sword engaged by the Lord. Please cut the soldiers of my enemies to pieces. And the shield, marked with 100 brilliant moon-like circles, so covers the eyes of the sinful enemies, plucks out the sinful eyes. It's quite aggressive stuff. Yes, Riyansh.
Prabhuji, not only you told the weapons of the Lord, and there on the shield marked with 100 brilliant moon-like circles gave Durga Mata when he was in Prithu Maharaj.
Durga Mata gave to Prithu Maharaj. Oh, okay, very good.
All were giving different surprises.
Yeah. I remember all the devatas came and gave him different things. Very good, Riyansh. Very good. Then this protection by the Lord's various energies and attributes. So what are these attributes? Glorification of the whole Lord's name and form. And may that protect from the influence of bad planets, meteors, envious human beings, serpents, scorpions, ferocious animals, ghosts, and sins. Garud, so we are praying to the Lord, his different attributes. Garud is his carrier. May he protect us from all dangerous conditions. And when Garud travels, when he flaps his wings, the 4 Vedas come and speak. The 4 Vedas are chanted at that time. They come from his wings. Vishvaksena, Lord Vishvaksena, protect us from miseries by his holy name. And the Lord's name, form, carrier, weapons, personal, social, may they protect our intelligence, senses, mind, life, air from all dangers. Then we pray to the Lord who is the universe, because the cause is present in the effect. May he destroy all of our misfortunes by that truth. Lord is omniscient and omnipresent. So it's aware of everything and is present everywhere. May he protect us all times, all places with his many forms. Yeah. And then one final prayer. Text number 34. We'll see that tomorrow, Monday. Lord Nrsingadev, roaring for his devotee Prahlad, swallows all power by his effulgence. May he protect us from fear in all directions, all corners, above, below, inside, and outside. So these prayers are very, very powerful. You're addressing every aspect. Yes, Riyaj?
Soji, again you told that when Garuda flaps his wings, the 4 Vedas will come, and when Kardama Muni was also on to do on a tapasya on Vishnu, then Garuda flapped his wings and the Sama Veda was sung that time.
Very good. I like it. I like it. You got good memory. It's not your mother telling you, is it?
No, Prabhuji.
Good boy. So what's the power of this Narayan Kavach? The benefits are the leaders of the demons will be conquered. Anyone seen or touched is immediately freed from all fears and dangers. So after chanting the Narayan Kavach, if you look at somebody or you touch them with your feet, it says, they're immediately freed from all dangers and fears. No disturbance or danger from the government, plunderers, evil demons, or disease. So these are the benefits. And there's a little description at the end of the chapter. Previously, a Brahmin called Kaushika used this armor to give up his body in the desert. And Chitraratha was forced to fall down from the sky with his aeroplane due to that. He threw the bones of the Brahmin into in the nearby Saraswati River. So, and then Chukadev Goswami concludes, one who employs this armor or hears about it with faith is immediately freed from all danger and is worshipped by all living entities. Indra, after receiving this prayer from Vishwarup, conquered the demons and enjoyed all opulences of the 3 worlds. This is the fight between the demons and the devatas. And Indra was successful. So that's the end of chapter 8. Any questions or any comments?
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
What his name? Daksha. He took birth in 2 mantras, right? 2 times. But he was lucky to have the same name and become Prajapati in both lives, right?
That was his desire, wasn't it? Yeah. The Lord fulfills the desires, right?
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, unusual, but
yes,
true.
Very unusual because he was named Daksha and he had the same position like Prajapati.
Yeah. And he
but
was very powerful.
The second time he realized his mistake not to offend anyone, but still he cursed Narad Muni.
He did, yeah.
Yeah.
That conditioning was still there.
Yeah.
That's right. That's very true. Very true. Anybody else? Anything else? Okay, so we can go to the lessons. Indulekamaji?
Hare Krishna. Yeah, so Krintaraj Bhagavatam ki jai. Lesson from Canto 6 so far. Chapter 1 is, one second, let me get my glasses. Okay, to avoid the hellish planet where there are terrible suffering, we must atone for the sins committed with mind, words, and body before we leave this present body. Chapter 2, the holy name is so powerful that even if one chant imperfectly, one can get liberation due to the causeless mercy of the Lord. Chapter 3, to avoid encounter with the Yamadutas, we must render devotional service upon the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Chapter 4, sitting in everyone's heart as Paramatma, the Lord is constantly directing us, but being so conditioned, we are unable to see or understand the Supreme Soul. Chapter 5, one who is too involved in this material world and who does not look within the core of his heart gets more entangled in the illusory energy. Chapter 6, women are not meant for the renounced order of life, but if they have competent husband, they can be liberated as they share the pious credit of the husband. Hare Krishna.
Very good. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Madhusan Babu?
Jai Haribol,
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna, Haribol. Yeah, interesting part, where this chapter, so Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Let me just get this. Yeah, so the chapter 6 actually, informs us that the universe has been populated with so many different living entities. And many are from the Kashyapa and the daughters of Daksha. So we know there are so many different living entities, but it's hard to comprehend how these different entities, like some of them are yakshas and ghosts and animals with hoofs and no hoofs and hoofs split in two. And I mean, some descriptions are amazing, but how this actually happens, and obviously we know why, because the obviously there was a need for populating the universe. So obviously it's a duty of, and Daksha was very keen on populating, but doing it in the right way would produce the right results. So he had to perform austerities and everything. And sometimes I know from Kashyapa, it does say that 642, that from the womb of Matrika, the wife of Aryama, were born many learned scholars. Among them, Lord Brahma created the human species. So I'm trying to understand where the humans fit in, and whether Lord Brahma creates them, or were they part of the creations through Kashyapa Muni, because sometimes so let me just finish. Human species which are endowed with an aptitude for self-examination. So we have got this ability and aptitude for examining our own selves, questioning our own selves. As the humans can do that, whereas other living entities like the animals cannot question. They just have to follow the laws of nature as prescribed to them, and so they just live by that, by the three modes of material nature. But also, so sometimes, in Brahmins, we do certain type of karma kanda and activity or yagya or something, and then they ask, what is your gotra, and sometimes go to the temple and they'll say, what's your gotra? And if you don't know or something, they say, yeah, Kashyapa. So it's this Kashyapa gotra, so it looks like we descendant or some, human beings. But anyway, we're as human beings and human birth in this lifetime, we got self-examination or questioning and understanding Srimad Bhagavatam. Chapter 7, Lord Indra disrespected Brahaspati. So we know that the spiritual master of the demigods, and Srila Prabhupada in the purport instructs that according to the laws of nature, when one is extremely opulent, one becomes degraded. And this is true both individually and collectively. So this can happen collectively as well. and the demigods are situated in the mode of goodness, but sometimes even one who is situated in such an exalted position as King Indra, the king of all the demigods, falls down because of material opulence. And Prabhupada in that purport also explains how the situation with America, and he explains how America, as is trying to do its best, but because of its opulence and great wealth and power, and somehow by the previous pious actors, they've got that good position, but they're not. They're becoming very proud, arrogant sometimes, and then the Prabhupada explains how America is kind of degraded and falling down in a way because they're not really following the principle. And Prabhupada recommends the Krishna conscious or Krishna consciousness is the answer. And fortunately, Prabhupada went to America and he converted a lot of the Americans, who were in that situation with a lot of material opulence and all that. And still they surrendered to Prabhupada and followed his guidance and became Krishna conscious, which is a good thing. But Indra regrets his actions and had to face the consequences of not achieving good fortune. So once good fortune can actually be on the decline, if it's, if we follow, neglect this and be disrespectful, we must learn to show respect to superiors like our spiritual master, Brahmins, and Vaishnavas. So there's a good lesson to be learned from that, and also good instructions coming from here. And also the weapons, like chapter 8, even Lord Indra was being instructed on the Narayan Kavach. So we went through that, how the Narayan Kavach we learn as part of some of the mantras for purification, like the Om Pavitre Pavitrova Sarvavastam Gatobi Smarit Pundrikaksam Sabahya Pyantar Suchi Sri Vishnu, like that, which is nice. It's good to learn. But the Maha Mantra itself is very important. So as explained here, may the Supreme Personality of Godhead's holy names, his transcendental form, his carriers, and all the weapons decorating him, our personal associates, protect our intelligence, senses, mind, life airs from all dangers. So that verse is so significant in instructing us about the nature of the weapons of, and then that Panchajanya, Krishna's conscience, he uses that on the battlefield on Kurukshetra. We know in Bhagavad Gita, Panchajanya is mentioned there, and Krishna blows on that and shatters the hearts of all the Kurus. And Srila Prabhupada in the purport says that there are various associates of the Transcendental Personality of Godhead, and his weapons and carriers are amongst them. In the spiritual world, nothing is material. The sword, bow, club, disc, everything decorating the personal body of the Lord are spiritual living force. Therefore, the Lord is called Adhyaya Gnan, indicating that there is no difference between him and his names, forms, qualities, weapons, and so on. Anything pertaining to him is in the same category as of spiritual existence. They're all engaged in the service of the Lord in the varieties of spiritual forms. So chanting the Maha Mantra will give us protection from all types of dangers mentioned in this chapter. So especially, in Kali Yuga, when we learn this, even Jayadev's Goswami's prayers, the Dasha Avatar, from that, when we sing that Keshava Dhrita, Narahari Rupa, Jai Jagadish. So when we sing the Lord Nrsimhadev protection, use that prayer, and then it's also Keshava Dhrita, Lord Buddha's, we can mention names like that. So learning some of these mantras and the nursing the Narayan Kavach parts, even that, can be very, very helpful for us and protect us from all these dangers. I don't know which mantra to say about the coronavirus to protect us from that as well. It must be there somewhere.
It's there. Yeah, it's there. It's
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, there was one.
There is. We'll go through it on Monday. But there is.
Yeah, it is there in the no. Okay. Okay, thank you very much. Yeah. Haribol. Hare Krishna.
Okay, anybody, any comments or any questions? Otherwise, we can move swiftly on to.
Hare Krishna.
Yes.
Hare Krishna, everyone. Yes, as always, thank you, Madhusudan Prabhu, with your nice, kind, and very search words and explanation. Very good. Talking about Kashyap Gotra, when Madhusudan Prabhu was saying that sometimes we ask and we say Kashyap Gotra, we don't actually know who from what dynasty we come from. But one thing I remember just now, when we were having Ganga's wedding at the temple, so we did Satyanarayana Swami ki Katha before. So then the priest asked Gotra, and we didn't know, and Vaishali was there. Vaishali said, Krishna Das Gotra. He said, Guru Maharaj Gotra. Then afterward, we told Guru Maharaj, and he said, yeah, that's good, because we don't know. So we know we took initiation from him. That means that we are from him now, not other people, right? So sometimes it happened, and when we don't know, we just take our Guru's name. That's it.
Actually, Guru Maharaj has told us to use Brihaspati. That's the line.
It's Bharadwaj.
Oh, sorry, Bharadwaj.
Bharadwaj.
That's the line that he is in, and that is what we use.
Okay.
Yeah, Bharadwaj.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
But then, by at least being initiated, then you're in a line of the parampara, a disciplic succession through Lord Chaitanya and all the way to Krishna and all that. So, they taking their step to be under the shelter of the Brahma Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya, and so where we all fit in is all the blessings of Lord Chaitanya as well.
For sure. Nice point, Indra Kamaji. Good point. Well raised. Okay.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Anybody else? Otherwise, let's